Let's bring him on to the show. We have a very special guest, or should I say a very special mullet, driver of the 11 car in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for Kaulig Racing, Josh Williams. So great to
Well,
have
what's
you
happening,
back.
buddy?
Heck yeah. So great to have you back on the show, Josh. You were the first driver I ever interviewed on the show back in the spring of 2023 when you were still in the 94. Really appreciate you calling on for the 100th show.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, when they said it was your 100th show, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's come a long ways in a short amount of time.
Yeah. I mean, some of the first episodes were like 9, 10 minutes long. I mean, now I'm, up to 30, 40 minutes. So, yeah, appreciate that. I know it was over a year ago, but how was that switch from going to a team that was close to where you grew up in Port Charlotte, Florida, in DGM, to Kaulig Racing that's based in Welcome, North Carolina?
Yeah, it's definitely been a change. I think the biggest change is just the cars and a little bit better equipment and things like that is the biggest change that I've had to get used to up there. So, but great group of people and it's super fun and we're having a little better year this year than we've had the first year. So um, luck's closer on our side this time. So that's going to help us a lot this year.
10-4, yeah. I mean, with Chris Rice and those guys, definitely have a good support system and backbone, just like you said. Hey, 10-4. Fast forwarding into this year, Daytona, as you said before, is like rolling the dice. You were there at the end, but unfortunately got caught up in that wreck. The next week in Atlanta, you rebounded right away, getting your career best in qualifying with that P3 starting spot. Must have felt good to show that speed right away.
Yeah, no, it was really good, and Daytona was unfortunate for sure. We had a top five car for sure. We needed a little bit more speed to be able to contend for the win, but getting wrecked there at the end kind of set us back a little bit, as far as points go, things like that. But being able to fire off at Atlanta and qualifying in the top three was really good. So glad we could showcase our speed there at the beginning of the season, and hopefully we can keep that rolling all year.
Heck yeah, no, totally agree. Was that Daytona crash was pretty crazy from the stands. I'm glad you're all right, but was super pumped to see you top of the leaderboard. Starting high up in Atlanta. You've had 3 top 15 finishes this season, with your best being a 12th in Phoenix. Happy you're feeling better after being under the weather in Vegas. I know Phoenix and Martinsville aren't too similar, but at the time, Phoenix's mile was the shortest track of the season so far. Do you feel like your team has momentum going into the half mile of Martinsville this weekend?
I think so. We've really worked hard on our race cars and make them the best that we can. College struggled there a little bit in the past. I feel like I had some pretty decent speed there last year, so just trying to build off of that. But I'm looking forward to it. I love Martinsville myself too, so it always helps when you go somewhere that you enjoy. It it kind of makes things not as bad if they are bad, if that makes sense.
I gotcha. I had this question at the end, but how many Martinsville dogs are you gonna eat this weekend?
I don't know. Last time I only had like two, so we'll see. There's a lot of
Probably got to eat them
downtime.
after being in the car, I would assume.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Today we've got practice and everything going on, so today would probably be the best day. So we'll see how many we can get in.
Gotcha. You feel good going into the practice and qualifying for Martinsville?
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to see how the car handles. We've changed some things. Me and my crew chief Eddie Pardue, we've been talking back and forth about it. For the past few weeks. So
Heck yeah,
you know,
awesome. Sounds like you
the
guys are
short
pretty
tracks are.
prepared.
Oh yeah. The short tracks are a good place to capitalize on having a good finish. Because you never know what can happen. So we'll try to get up front there and stay up front all day and try to chase for a clock.
Gotcha. Heck yeah. Still at the start of a very long season. We know in the Xfinity Series that they take 12 cars into the playoffs. You're currently 18th in the standings. How are you going to get that 11 car into the playoffs this year?
I think we'll be okay. I think our biggest setback was, me being under the weather, and we had a 29th place finish there at Las Vegas, and that kind of hurt us a little bit. And we were running 13th last week, and had a tire go down that green white checkered at Homestead. So ended up 19th. So we've got good speed. We're being consistent, and that's good to build momentum and just get better. So I think we'll be just fine. And you never know, some of these tracks, man, we've been pretty good in the past. I think we're going to be better this year. So maybe we could sneak up there and snag us a win and make it as easy as it can be.
Heck yeah, that a win, as you said, would be the easiest way into the playoffs. But definitely, you're showing that consistency. The beginning of this year, just like you said, just like any of the three series, especially in Xfinity, there's always going to be driver changes and new drivers entering the series every year. As a driver, how long does it take typically to get a sense of how someone else is going to race you? And does that change on the track by any chance?
Um, it just depends. I mean, everybody drives different, right? So,
Yep.
um, and then I guess it depends on how you treat each other right off the bat, right? So, and that always kind of carries on for a while. Racers never forget. That's a true story. So, if somebody gets into you a little bit, you'll probably remember it 20 years from now. So, um,
Gotcha.
it just it's a revolving door of people, in the Xfinity Series, and there's a lot of people who've been in there for a long time. So, you get kind of it's just a respect thing. There's certain drivers that'll give you room. There's certain ones that they won't. So, you just got to keep that in the back of your mind when you're racing against these people, and race each driver the way that that they race. So.
10 foot. I appreciate you touching on that. Working off that, when you go to the bigger tracks of Atlanta, Daytona, Talladega, drafting is so important. After being in the ARCA garage in January for the test, you hear different drivers talking about who they like working with on the track. You've been in the sport as for a long time. Is there
Mhm.
anyone specifically that stands out as a good drafting partner throughout the years?
Um, I've worked with a lot of different ones, and I think that that they trust me, I trust them. It's a small list, um, but we work with all the Chevrolet drivers for sure. That's our main goal.
Yep.
But Austin Hill, he's super good. Justin Allgaier, he's super good. So those two guys are, I feel comfortable with those guys, and my teammates as well. Christian Eckes and Daniel Dye.
10-4. Appreciate that. Coming to our last question, is there any tracks on the rest of the schedule that for this year that you're specifically looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to Darlington. We had some pretty good speed at Homestead on a track that's got a super wore out surface. So hopefully we can kind of make that work at Darlington. We've been working on that as well. So, and I love that track. It's one of my favorites. Martinsville this weekend too. So we got some coming up here in a row that we're looking forward to, and especially Talladega. We had a shot to win there last year and got wrecked on green white checkered. So running second. So
Yeah,
we got some good races coming up here.
remember that last year Talladega one like it was yesterday. But yeah, really appreciate your time so much again, Josh, and best of luck the rest of the season, man.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you so much, man. Anytime you want to have me on, I'm ready.
Awesome. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, buddy.